Megan Pearson, Director of Countywide Communications, up here at the Bakersfield Emergency Operations Center. We're just going to give you some quick updates. This will be our last update for the evening. So I'm going to run through some things and then we'll stop for questions. I also have Battalion Chief Brandon Smith with me who can answer questions on behalf of the fire department. So again, I'm just going to run through some things and then holler if you have questions. USGS has confirmed that it was a 7.1 earthquake. We were seeing reports that it was a 6.9. Just wanted to make sure everybody was aware that it was actually confirmed as a 7.1. The 6.4 is a foreshock. The 6.9 information was incorrect. We're hearing reports of a brush fire north of the base. However, we don't have any more details about that. It's just an initial report. There are 2 fires that were knocked down early, right after the earthquake started. We're taking calls into 911 for gas leaks. However, PG&E is reporting that their lines are not experiencing issues. So we're investigating those could be issues inside a home. We're addressing minor injuries, nothing life-threatening. Again, that's information you heard from the folks out in Ridgecrest, no new news there. There are no patients inside the Ridgecrest Regional Hospital. However, there are patients inside the skilled nursing facility. We're hearing currently that there are roughly 2,000 customers without power, and we're sheltering at the Kerr-McGee Center. We believe there are currently 129 residents at the Kerr-McGee Center. They have a current cot capacity, meaning that they already have cots on site for 200, with the ability to expand up to 500. So we're good on capacity for now. We're also looking for additional locations if we need them in the future. We do know that we are housing residents in our shelter from Trona. We don't know when they got there because we do know there are road issues, so they could have gotten there before. Law enforcement is fully staffed, and we're receiving support from other local agencies to provide relief. 911 calls are being handled locally and through the ECC here. We've handled 248 calls for service here alone. So our folks here have been super busy. We've set up backup communications in the event that there's an additional power failure, so all of our operations would stay up. Caltrans is reporting that the 178 is open through the canyon. However, there is still a closure on the 178 at Pinnacle Road and the county line for boulders and cracks. Other than that, there are no other county road closures. Water's been tested and is good. The dam has been evaluated and is cleared. And the only other thing that we're asking for right now is that you hold all donations of goods. We need to kind of concentrate on responding to the immediate needs of our residents. So if you're interested in donations, you can contact the Red Cross and give financially. But we would ask that all residents locally or outside the area would hold their donations of goods off for a while.
Are there people in those bunks out there?
There are 129 individuals housed that are sheltered at the Kerr-McGee Center currently.
Any one of those people were involved in one of those fires?
That I don't know. If there was anyone at the fire, anyone affected by the fires that's in the shelter, but we don't know who's in the shelters. Is there anything you want to add before we open up for questions? Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
When will, I guess, the local residents who want to give to Ridgecrest have an opportunity to give their goods, water, etc. to Ridgecrest maybe in the next couple of days?
We'll update you when we're ready to receive those. Right now we're just directing people to, if you feel compelled to give, that you would contact the American Red Cross or another agency of that sort and give financially. That's of the greatest use at this time.
Do we know exactly how many people are in shelters right now in that Ridgecrest area where the earthquake hit?
There are currently 129 people sheltered at the Kerr-McGee Center. So, and they have the capacity for up to 500.
Will there be more, or do you have any idea whether there'll be more than that? Or?
We don't know. It really depends. So, we're staffed and ready for them, and if they show up, we'll be there to support them.
Any problems that the crews are having at the present time? Any problems with anything? fire
Here, I'll
crews,
let
yes?
you answer that.
So, no, at this time we're not having any major issues or concerns. The crews are out basically gridding the area, looking at all the structures, looking for any major significant damage. We have multiple urban search and rescue teams coming from a variety of areas, and basically they're going to move in a methodical way throughout the city and just verify structures and buildings and just look for any kind of anything that maybe has significant damage that is potential for collapse, which we have no report of anything like that so far, but that's what they're going to continue doing as they go through pretty much about 50 square miles.
What's the biggest damage that they saw down there that they reported to you guys? Would it be something in the road? Would it be a house?
Nothing has came back yet, anything significant that we know of. I mean, I think really the biggest part is, once again, losing power, losing some of the basic communications there, those kinds of features that are, common that we all need. And so I think that's what's kind of hindering some of the residents. And of course, I think probably the most critical is the mental well-being of everybody. I mean, they've been sitting through that. I know personally, most of us have been sitting here in Bakersfield and we've felt that rumble. Well, it's much more extreme there, and that's been constant. And so really just trying to get some support there for the community, give them a good location to go that they feel comfortable and safe, and that at least we have responders and everybody there available to be able to support their needs.
For people who live in the area there, what are some of the recommendations? Are we turning off gas lines and things like that to make sure that we can set our minds at ease and go to sleep without the worry of a large-scale fire in your own home? What are some of the recommendations you guys have for people living in the area?
Yeah, so for residents in the area, of course, be mindful, know what's going on. Obviously, be aware, monitor your radio, monitor maybe the local news, social media if they have that option. But really, we're just asking residents to stay in, if their home is safe and they have no threats there, to stay there. We'd recommend that people aren't just out and about unless they really need to, just because we're gonna have a lot of responders out there. We have a lot of public maybe displaced, and so that would be probably some of the bigger recommendations. If they do feel they have any kind of gas leak or something like that, we do recommend that it is shut off for the emergency side, but call 911 and we will get somebody there as soon as possible to address it. We also have PG&E, SCE out there looking and addressing any of these gas leaks immediately. They've got teams deployed, and they'll be basically going and addressing those leaks.
What part of the neighborhood there in Ridgecrest, our neighborhoods have been hit the hardest?
I don't have any of that information right now. I think it's kind of widespread. In all reality, it's just there's various things, and some of it's from cosmetic all the way down, just as from the first earthquake and the multiples we've had. There is no specific area that's been majorly impacted.
So just to be clear, there are no injuries reported right now, right?
Have you?
Minor injury.
Yeah. So just basically, so far, everything from the beginning of all this to now, we've just had minor injuries reported, nothing significant.
You said, so you mentioned power outages. Is that, are those prolonged power outages, or it just happened and it came back on?
I think there's been a mix of those. So as the first initial earthquake, we had almost 7,000 residents there out, and within that roughly 12 to about 16 hours, they had pretty much everything back up in service, maybe about 1,000 residents out. And so I would expect something fairly similar unless there's any major, but that would be something more on SCE, and then we are getting constant updates from them on where they're at, and which Megan's already supplied where they're currently at, but they are actively out there working to get those back installed. And we have some critical areas, the shelters, our communication sites, things like that we are trying to address, any kind of critical care facilities, nursing homes, anywhere that are high priority, high risk. We want to make sure that we're trying to prioritize those, getting those back on, and SCE is doing that.
What's the kind of uniform place that people can go to look for information as you guys distribute it? Where's best? Is it Ready Kern, or what are we talking about?
So definitely monitoring social medias if they can. If they're in Ridgecrest, there should be some information provided at the shelters periodically. If not, they will be by there. And then also Ridgecrest PD they will be providing information there locally for that. And we do have a couple public information officers there that are around helping push that information out.
Is there anything else there that you think the public needs to know at this point?
Well, okay. I would have to say, just truly, again, be mindful. I think everybody there knows what's going on with the current situation. If most of everybody has probably felt it, and so just being aware of what's going on and expect to be ready for any other aftershocks. As we know, it's an earthquake. It's unpredictable, but as we've seen, these have been kind of steady and consistent, and just being ready for that. Having a plan, once again. That's, I think, the most important thing. Have a plan. If you have medications, have plenty of them. Your animals, your pets, food, make sure you have all that stuff for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to close this out. That's going to be our last briefing for the evening. We intend to be back tomorrow morning at 8:30 with another briefing here in the same location. So we'll see you then. We also want to send a note out to all of our residents in the Ridgecrest area that we're thinking about you. Please stay safe. For all of our residents here in Bakersfield and the other communities, please, like Brandon mentioned, please have a plan and stay safe. We're thinking about you. We're going to go dark on communications unless something else comes out overnight, but we will see you back here at 8:30 in the morning. Thank you.